Today, my friends, we have a treat. And this box is the brand new amplifier CT Sounds made. This is CT Sounds AT-2300.1d. This is the big brother to the 1400 that they just come out with, and we're gonna check it out. So far, all of the new amps have been super nice. The new AT series is not an exception. So it's rated 2300 watts at 1 ohm, 1200 watts at 2 ohms, and 650 watts at 4 ohms. It also plays down to 10 hertz. I noticed that. It has a very wide voltage range of 9 to 16 volts. All wonderful qualities to have in a high quality amplifier. Alright, so in this side of this box here, all these AT series amps have this little white box that comes with them. And what's inside of this is actually the bass knob. Check out this bass knob. So it's super cool. It's a little bit plastic, but it has a voltage meter, it has a clipping indicator and a power indicator, and a little button, you can hear it. The button will turn the amplifier on and off if you want to. Also, this volume knob itself is machined aluminum and it looks so nice. Wow, look at that. This is the amp guts. All the AT series amplifiers have this polycarbonate back glass on them so you can see all of the insides. You got your filter caps, power supply. These are your big triode coils in the power supply. These are your big rail capacitors. They're 120 volts. And you got these big output inductors right there. Very stout, man. This thing is heavy. Look at that, super nice. So on the power side of the amplifier, you've got 0 gauge inputs. You have this little knob right here where it says bass knob or head unit. Make sure that's on head unit if you want to use it normally. Your remote wire actually connects over here to where the speaker terminals are, and these are 8 gauge. You have 4 speaker terminals, 2 plus and 2 minus. This is a monoblock amplifier. Flipping around to the other side, we have these beautiful Tiffany style RCAs right here, so they don't wiggle loose. They're not going to break real easy. You have your gain, subsonic filter, then you have your bass boost, you don't worry about that. Low pass filter, 35 to 20 hertz, and of course a phase adjustment. And if your amplifier is not working right out of the box, this switch right here needs to be in master if you're using just one amplifier. So if you have this on slave, it's not going to work properly. It needs to be on master if you want all these settings to work. So if it's not playing, don't freak out, just set this to master. What do you say we go ahead and hook it up and run some power tests and see how much power this is actually going to make. So this is how we're going to run our test. We have these resistor banks here, so we have their 4 ohms each. Together in parallel they are 1 ohm, so I can test 1 ohm, 2 ohms, and 4 ohms. We're going to test all 3 of those up to distortion and hopefully up to clipping. So we'll check that, and we will see the voltage as well, and the power and the ohm load all right here. Now you want to stay tuned till afterward for a huge announcement on this amplifier right here. Alright, so what do you say we go ahead and run the first test? We're going to run a 1 ohm test up to distortion on this amplifier. Let's see if we can run that now. 40 hertz. Okay, distortion. Oh man, 2,547 watts. Let's do that one more time. We're going to do 3 sets on each one just to kind of show you how accurate this is. It will drain the battery down a tiny bit. I wouldn't worry about that too much. So let's try that one more time up to distortion. Okay, 2,541 watts on that one. We'll do that one more time. $2,541 watts. So at 1 ohm, this thing is going to make 2,541 watts up to a clean signal. Let's go ahead and try that up to clipping. See if we can do that. Okay, 2,585 watts, so not a whole lot better, but we're still getting there. That means that the distortion and the clipping is going to be at a very similar point, which means a very high quality amplifier. You don't have that extra rail voltage just wasted. We'll try that one more time. To clipping, 2,599 watts, so basically 2,600 watts right there. So, and you can see what voltage that played at. That's fantastic. So we're gonna do the same test again at 2 ohms. Let's run the same test again at 2 ohms. We're going to go up to distortion at 40 hertz. Okay, so we got 1800 watts at distortion. Let's try that again. Okay, so we got 1830 watts at distortion. One more time just for good luck. Okay, so 1870 watts. We're going to run this again to clipping and see what we get at clipping. It should be very similar. Any well-built amp, they're going to be very similar between certified and uncertified. Let's go ahead and try that. Okay, 1818 watts. So it appears that this amp has a very good high quality power supply and that it is producing some very clean power up to its rated power. Yeah, okay, so we're looking at 1819 watts. So basically 2600 watts and then 1800 watts. We'll compare that to the manual later. Let's do a 4 ohm test. So we're gonna run those same tests again at 4 ohms, up to distortion, and then up to clipping. All right, let's run those now. We got 40 hertz detect. Okay, then up to distortion, we got 1093 watts, just over 1000 watts. Let's try that again. Okay, so we got 1098 watts. Let's try that again. Okay, 1098 watts. So it seems right at right around 1100 watts. Let's run it up to clipping and see if we can get 1100 watts out of this amp at 4 ohms. Okay, so we got 1105 watts. All right, one more time. Okay, so 1090 watts. One more time. 1098 watts. So it's right around that 1100 watt mark at 4 ohms. So here's the big announcement I'm going to do with this amplifier. So when CT found out I was going to do a video about this, they did something really cool. They sent me another one. They sent me another amplifier just so I can give it away. So one of you lucky winners will get the CT Sounds 2300.1d, the same amplifier we just tested that just made all that wonderful power, and that will be yours. Other than that, I really appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. On to the next one. Stay clean, don't clip your stuff.